Hello and welcome to the Indiana History Project. I'm your guest host, Rowena Cross-Najafi, and on this beautiful spring day, we are at the Monastery Immaculate Conception in Ferdinand, Indiana. Isn't it beautiful? In just a few minutes, we'll go inside and see the rest of it, but I just want to say a few words about how much richness we have here in southern Indiana, and I hope you will all get out and visit some of these places that we're highlighting for you. So here we are inside the Monastery Immaculate Conception, and our tour guide for today is Sister Christine of the Sisters of St. Benedict, Ferdinand, Indiana. Sister Christine, let's start with this model right here, which is really a pretty amazing. I can tell it's a model of the building we're in, right?
That's correct. Well, first of all, I'd like to say welcome to the monastery.
Thank you.
Yes, we're in what we refer to as the reception area of the monastery. And this model pretty much tells us the buildings that were here in 1938. And that's when this model was built by a gentleman from downtown. His name was Edwin Schilling. Mother Seraphine Cordes, who was our superior for 35 years, was celebrating 50 years as a Sister of St. Benedict. And they were having a big celebration. And so Mr. Schilling wanted to do something to celebrate. So he asked some ladies downtown to bake cakes. And they made 50 cakes. And he put them together as a cake of a monastery of the Immaculate Conception.
Can you imagine?
And they have a photo over here. This picture right here shows the cake that he made. Sent it up for Mother Seraphine's 50th Jubilee as a sister.
Wow, that is crazy.
Well,
We'll
the
show you that in a
sisters,
minute.
they celebrated big time. But you know what? They didn't eat any cake. They said it was too beautiful to eat. They were not going to cut that
It is
beautiful,
quite beautiful. I
beautiful
agree.
cake.
But it won't last
So-
forever, right? So
Well, they celebrate, but didn't eat any cake. But Mr. Schilling, now I don't know if you didn't know anything about little towns. There are not many secrets in little towns. So Mr. Schilling heard about this cake that was not being eaten. He called up Mother Seraphine. He said, please let the sisters eat the cake. It's getting stale. And I'll make you a model that you can keep.
wow.
So the sisters ate their cake, and they have it too.
And this is the model.
That's right. So these are the buildings here in 1938. Actually, when the sisters came here to Ferdinand in 1867, though, they lived down near the parish church, downtown.
Down the hill?
Down the hill. When they got here, they lived in a little 3-room cottage.
How many sisters were there?
4 sisters
Oh.
living in 3 rooms. Now, it probably wouldn't
Sounds
last
cozy.
too long. Okay. So they added some rooms and they added a chapel. And by 1870, they put up a big 2-story brick building and opened a boarding school for girls.
1870. Wow,
1870.
that's very early.
We operated that boarding school until 2000.
Wow.
We had to close it in 2000. We just couldn't subsidize it to the degree we needed to subsidize it. So we closed it. But so anyway, the sisters lived down by the parish church until 1886. And they needed to expand, and there wasn't much space down there. And so they purchased this property here on top of the hill where the
Which is
monastery is
perfect, yeah. The top
way
of the
up here on the
perfect,
hill.
yeah.
This hill was known as Mount Tabor. They cleared some land. They built the first monastery up here, which on the model was the quadrangular building section. That was the
So
first
that
monastery.
section back there.
There's a section that runs through the middle of the monastery, the quadrangular. That was their church.
And that's where we are, is
That's
that quadrangle, right?
That's
it?
right. We
Yeah,
are in the
okay.
quadrangular right now. By 1904, they're out of space again, so they added that back section of the model. By 1936, they're out of space again, so they added that back section.
Wow, so
of-
it just
of-
grew and
of the
grew.
model. And that's the main living area of the sisters now.
Yeah.
That's St. Benedict Hall. That also houses our infirmary, known as Hildegard Health Center. It's licensed and certified by the state of Indiana. So we have 17 rooms that we can care for sisters in a licensed, certified facility. By 1914, though, They had outgrown that little church.
The church is
That
in the
little-
center of the
in
quadrangle?
the center of the quadrangular. And they knew they had to do something. So Mother Seraphine, who was a superior at that time, remember she was superior for 35 years.
35 years.
She called up an architect in St. Louis. She had been told there was a good architect there. He was a young one. He was only 21 years old.
How did they know he was good if he was only 21?
Well, I guess he had proved himself already at 21.
Boy genius.
Yeah. So she called, his name was Victor Clutho. She called him and asked him to come down and talk to the sisters about building a church. He did. He went back to St. Louis, where he came from, and came back 1 month later and had plans for all of this building here. Looks like a castle, huh?
It does.
It's known as the
Beautiful.
Castle on the Hill. Yeah. So sisters looked at those plans and they said, "Oh, sure, they're going to build that church.
Nice.
They're going to build that church." And you know what? They didn't have any money. You know what that took?
Yeah.
Faith, and they had faith. So they told them, "Yeah, we're going to build a church." How'd they do it? Faith, first of all. There were many, many generous people who helped them. They borrowed some money. In fact, I've read from the records they borrowed $75,000. Now, $75,000 in 1914 was a lot of money. So they started building the church in 1915. They completed the entire exterior of that church, that building, in 14 months.
Wow.
That included the excavation back into the big hill.
And that was during World War I, right?
1915,
Yeah.
right before World War I. That was, before
World War I started for us.
World War I was down the road,
It
pretty
was coming,
close.
yeah.
The economy was not good. By the time they got the exterior finished, they had run out of money, and they made the decision they wouldn't borrow any more money. They sent the workers home, and they said, "When we get enough money, we'll call you back to finish the inside of the church." So, you see the lights underneath the church? Way down there? There's a big space down there. We refer to it as a crypt. We didn't bury any sisters down there, though. You know, sometimes you bury people. We didn't bury any sisters down there. But they used that space under the church for their church for 8 years. So they were going down loads and loads of steps to get down there, many times a day for all their prayer, all their masses.
Up and down and
Up and down, up and down. And by 1922, though, they thought they had enough money saved up again. They called the workers back, and they finished the interior of this building in 1924.
Wonderful.
Dedicated in 1924. We did an extensive restoration of the church, which we completed in 2005. And that's what we're going to see when we go to the church, is a restored church.
Can't wait.
Yeah. And we emphasized, we didn't want to renovate, we wanted to restore.
Right, exactly.
The church is included in the historical register of
National Historic. I would assume so, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful building.
But just a little bit of information. Most people like to hear this stuff. If you notice when you came in, the roof is all tile.
I love that tile.
Okay. Many of those tile got broken over the years.
I bet.
And, of course, we were getting a lot of moisture through the roof. We didn't have enough pots and pans and buckets anymore to catch
really?
it. Yeah. So we knew we had to do something. Well, we finally, friends convinced us to have a capital campaign and ask people to help us, so we got the money to restore it. Well, on the roof, they had to take all those tile off, and the workmen numbered those tiles as they took them off from the top of the dome. Row 1, tile 1, 2, 3, row 2. And you know what?
How many were there?
32,492. They numbered it. And the foreman told me they're made in 142 different sizes and shapes.
Wow, so it was really important
quite a task,
to get the right ones in the right places.
Right. And that's right. They stacked those tile up there on the scaffolding.
Crazy.
Replaced that waterproof membrane under there. Put every tile back in its place. And of course, the ones that were broken had to be made to fit in those places. We also removed all of the stained glass windows. There are 192 stained glass windows in the church. They were removed, cleaned, re-leaded, reframed, and put back in. And we cleaned and tuck pointed the entire exterior of the church, all the brick.
That was a huge
That was a
restoration
huge job.
Yeah.
And, you know, by that time, we ran out of money.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised.
And we had to repeat some history. We put everything on hold. It's
Yeah.
just that they did back there in 1915. And then we didn't do any restoration of the interior of the church then until March of 2004, and then completed the interior restoration in August of 2005.
Well, we can't wait to go see the inside.
That's what we're going to do.
It's going to be beautiful.
Okay. Okay, just to mention a few other things in this area. This hanging here, it's beautiful. It's a needlepoint of the Blessed Virgin Mary. That needlepoint was brought here by the sisters when they came here in 1867. It hung in their chapel, and it's a treasure. Treasure to us, but very old, from 1867. They also brought the statue of the Christ child, and there's a little marble nativity scene over there. They brought those things from Covington, Kentucky. Actually, I didn't tell you, the sisters came here actually from Covington, Kentucky. But our history goes back to the 6th century, to the time of St. Benedict and St. Scholastica. And the first Benedictine sisters then came from Europe in 1852 from Eichstätt, Germany, and settled in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. Then a couple of sisters moved on and made another foundation in Erie, Pennsylvania. Then 3 sisters left Erie and came to Covington, Kentucky, and founded St.
Progression.
That's
west,
right.
Huh?
And so the sisters from Ferdinand came here directly from Covington, Kentucky. And so they brought these things from Covington.
Now, from here, were there any sisters that moved on and established new?
Yes, we established 6 foundations from here.
West or north or?
All directions. We established one in California, one in Louisiana, one in Kentucky, 6 of them. Some of those, since that, have merged with other communities, as this communities got smaller. And so, but we did actually make, our largest foundation from here was made in Beech Grove, Indiana, up near Indianapolis. And about 125 sisters left here to found that. So
it must have been a blow at the time.
Yes, that
would be a huge number of people
We missed them greatly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, this is lovely, and I can't wait to see the rest. This we need to talk about, because this is neat, and a lot of people never heard of this.
Yes, this piece
is really interesting.
Actually, this is Sister Anastasia's picture in this piece. Notice the words on there are all German. It's dated 1894. The sculpture piece in there is Sister Anastasia's hair. And at that time, when a sister received her religious garb, professed her vows, became a sister, part of the ceremony was cutting their hair, which symbolized giving up everything for Christ. Her parents asked if they could have her hair. Of course, the sisters gave it to them. And so it was her parents who had this made up. It hung in their home until the family started dying out, and then someone brought it and gave it to us. So it's a treasure to us.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And that was quite common in that era, that ladies, when they cut their long hair, they made them into displays like this.
Yeah, I've seen hair art before, but this is a
you see them in museums. Yeah,
and this is more than just hair art. This commemorates an actual event, a really important event in her life, and in the life of her family too.
That's right.
Lost her basically.
That's right. Right, here we have some very interesting artifacts from a foundation that we sisters made in Belcourt, North Dakota. The sisters started working with the North American Indians in 1933. It became a monastery out there. And, but over the years, several years ago, they were down to like 6 elderly sisters, and they were not receiving vocations. So they sold all the buildings out there, and the sisters transferred back here to Ferdinand. But these are some artifacts from the North American Indians. And the paintings over here also, beautiful paintings.
These are super.
On the other cabinet, there are some artifacts from Peru and Guatemala, where we also have missions. Our sisters are still in Peru. We have 2 sisters from here, and the rest of sisters there now are native Peruvians. And so there's some really nice artifacts in there. The mission we had in Guatemala several years ago, we turned that mission over to a Mexican Benedictine community.
Okay.
And so they continue our ministries there. We still support them in any way that we can, financially, or help them if
How
they
many
need help.
missions, I mean, I don't expect you to have the exact figure, but how many approximately missions are there worldwide?
Oh my, I don't know. There are hundreds of them.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Benedictines
It
are
sounded
all,
it sounded
Benedictines-
like it, you
yeah,
know, as you were mentioning
Benedictines
these
are all
different
over the
places, and they're
world.
all over the world.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Okay. Sister Christine, there's some really beautiful masonry in this hall. I mean, I hope that our viewers can see at least a little bit of how wonderful it is, at least enough to come out and look for themselves. Could you tell us what was involved in the making of this hall and what the purpose of it was?
Well, I can tell you what I know. This hall is known as a cloister hall. It connects the church on the outside with the cloistered area of the monastery, or the private living area of the sisters. So it's called the cloister hall. This hall was added when the church was built in 1924.
And the church is on that side.
That's right. So this is the outside wall of the original monastery.
The quadrangle.
Wall. Right. And so there's also a tower on each side, and this hall were added when the church was built. Beautiful hallway, beautiful work in the ceiling, arches.
Do you know where the bricks came from that went into building this?
Well, the story is told that a lot of the bricks, I guess most of the bricks, maybe all the bricks were made in that area, you know.
Right around here, around Ferdinand?
Right.
And the terracotta
The terracotta is a special kind of clay. Don't know a lot about it, but there's a lot of that terracotta trim on the outside of the church also.
Yeah.
You probably have noticed.
It's very ornate.
Yeah, right.
It's beautiful.
Right. Beautiful designs in the ceiling.
Yeah, and I forget what this is called. I know if I were an architect, I would know.
That's
where
right.
The pieces come together in a kind of almost
Right.
a diamond
Right.
shape there in
Yeah.
the center.
Yeah, I toured a retired architect one time, and he told me in his whole career he had only seen this kind of work here on the ceiling in one other building,
Interesting.
and I failed to find out where it is. But
It does.
it's very
it does look very
unusual
unique,
work,
yeah.
a beautiful work.
It's a great place for people to visit who are interested in
That's
architecture,
right.
because there's
That's
a whole
right.
lot to
And
see.
anyone that comes always comments the beauty of this hallway. And I know as a kid when I came, it always fascinated me, you know.
So you came here as a kid?
I did, and a lot of people tell me that this hallway reminds them of the movie The Sound of Music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the ball
Of course,
hallway.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maria was a novice in a
That's right.
convent in the Alps somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
Austria, right? So this is very beautiful.
Okay.
Can't wait to see the rest.
Okay.
Tell us about this door. This is really beautiful.
Well, this is the door that leads into what was the original church that we saw in the model, that part that came through the center of
Right
the
in the middle of
quadrangular.
the quadrangle.
This leads into what was the original church. Beautiful iron work. You may notice the markings on the top of the door.
Yes, we're hoping that's not graffiti.
No, that's not graffiti. That the superior, the prioress, blesses our home every year on the Feast of Epiphany. It's a special blessing. We're all gathered in the monastery. And then she marks it with the blessings in the year 2014 is what you see up here. And then the letters, forget what letters are up there.
Okay, I see a B.
They represent
an M.
Yeah.
And
The blessing, the Epiphany is when the 3 wise men came.
Right, yeah.
And so it's a blessing of the wise men,
Neat.
for our home. Blessing for the year.
Oh, that's very cool. Now, you mentioned a while ago something about cloistering, and I didn't really think to ask at the time, but from the visitors that I've seen going in and out, obviously you are not completely cloistered,
No.
right?
I talked about this being the cloister hall. And when we were in Europe, the sisters were in Europe, we were cloistered, which meant we stayed within the monastery. Not me.
Within the confines.
That's right. The confines of the monastery. Of course, when they came to this country, they were teachers, and so they had to move out of their cloister and into the classroom. But at the end of the day, pretty much they moved back into the monastery, into the cloister. So we're not a cloistered community anymore. Actually, we are 157 sisters in the community now. And by the time when I entered the community, we were almost all teachers. We were a teaching community. But we've reached into other ministries now. We're still in education. We have teachers, we have principals. I myself spent 40 years in education as a teacher and a principal. But we're now in healthcare. We have nurses, we have physician assistants. We have a lot of sisters that work in parishes now, our spiritual work, retreats, almost anything if there's a need. And we have sisters that are interested, are prepared for that kind of ministry. We move them on into those.
So
wherever the needs might be.
It depends on the needs and also the talents of the individual sisters.
That's correct.
Right? Well, I know from experience that there's at least one sister who's a very good baker, right?
Oh, yes.
I've bought cookies in your gift shop,
Yes.
and that is an excellent
right.
ministry.
We do. We have a gift shop here known as For Heaven's Sake Gift Shop, and then we have a bakery known as Simply Divine Bakery.
Yes.
And they make yummy cookies.
Yes, they do. I can recommend the cookies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is my famous door.
Your famous door?
I even named this door.
Really? What did you name it?
This door's name is, my name for it is door.
I know why.
Yeah.
Because I've gone through that door.
That's right. Usually if I come back, sometimes 100 people behind me, and all I hear is, So it's my door.
That's a good name for it, because this leads into
into the church.
the church, which is the most beautiful part of a very
That's right.
beautiful structure. And I don't know if there's a way to carry that camera so that you get that moment or not, but if you could, that would be great, because it is quite lovely. But we were just talking about how when you're in a place like this, you never want to talk very loud. You feel as if you should talk in hushed tones, so I hope you can still hear us. Sister Christine, tell us about the church. There's so much to look at here.
It is awesome, isn't it?
It's just amazing.
And I always ask, when I do tours, give people a couple of seconds at least to feel God's presence here. And I think that's what you felt when you said, I just want to talk softly.
That's what the door is all about.
That's right, it's God's presence here. As I said, the church was completed in 1924, restored in 2005. And what we're seeing today is the restored church. I can tell you a little bit about the changes that we made in restoration. We tried not to make many changes. We emphasized we were restoring, not renovating, but we did make a few changes. One of the changes we made is this right here. This is a holy water font. It's marble, granite from Italy, as well as the altar. If we look up to the front, the altar and the ambo, or the reader stand. Those are also new with the restoration. It's all marble and granite from Italy. The floor is entirely new. and that is all marble and granite from Italy. The original floor was a domestic marble in the aisles, but it was all wood under the benches.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That all had to be taken up, you know, during the restoration. The pews are the original pews.
Hand
From
carved, I believe.
1924, hand carved, all the backs and the arms. They were refinished, but they're the original pews from 1924.
Now, to prove I was listening the last time I came here, they were carved in Oberammergau in Germany, right?
They were carved
Or somewhere nearby?
They were carved by artisans from
Oberammergau. Okay, all right.
The work was done in this area.
Evidently, I wasn't listening
came,
as well as
you came pretty close. The artisans were from Oberammergau, Germany.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of southern Germany.
That's right. And we'll see a lot of their carvings as we move up to the front of the church. There's a wood screening up beyond the domed structure. That is all hand carved.
Lovely.
Beautiful, beautiful work, all
So,
oak.
These carvers came here in the 1920s and just lived here on site?
1930 is when
1930s.
that was added.
Until they finished the work.
The screening.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Yeah. The lighting's all new, everything. All the electrical system, heating system, everything had to be replaced.
Everything that needed to be
That's right.
brought
And
up
of course
to date.
now it's air conditioned, which it was not before.
Very comfortable.
Yeah. The stations on the wall
The Stations of the Cross.
are the original. Yeah, the Way of the Cross. They're original from 1924.
Is that marble?
It's a plaster.
Plaster.
And the frames is terracotta, but they were designed and cast in Munich, Germany. The stained glass windows were not added until 1930, 31. When they finished the church in 1924, they did not have money for stained glass.
So these were just plain glass
They
at
put
the time?
just a frosted window in there. Then by 1920, 1930, they had enough money, and then they replaced the windows with the stained glass. The windows were designed by a monk over at St. Meinrad, which is a Benedictine monastery just a few miles from here. Monastery for men, a seminary for training of priests. It was designed by Father Bede Mahler, and they were cast by the Emil Frey Glass Company out of Munich, St. Louis.
I know that glass company.
Is that right? That's St. Louis, that's right.
Yeah. Beautiful.
The biggest change we made in restoring our church is that wooden dome structure that you see in the front. That is new.
Since 2005?
That was built in there in 2005.
It's very modern, but it also seems like it could be old, you know?
It
Yeah.
fits in very well
it
with
does.
the rest of the architecture. It's a chapel built within the church. Provides a little place for private prayer, time for quiet time, meditation.
Sister Christine, tell me about this dome. It's enormous. I don't even know how high that could possibly be. But
Isn't it fantastic?
Beautiful.
I can tell you that from this floor, this level, up to the top of the dome is 87 feet.
Wow.
And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's a level below here, a crypt down underneath here, big room, which, by the way, was used as their church for 8 years. From that level up to the top of the dome, it's 137 feet.
Wow.
The diameter is 32.5 feet.
At its widest point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Notice the windows up there in the dome.
Yes, they're angels.
They're all
Those are
angels.
Lovely.
That's right. And then notice all the angels around the top of the sanctuary. They're standing there in praise and adoration.
Gorgeous.
And then, if you notice, back on the balcony, there's 2 of those angels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Up here.
And then on the arches coming across the ceiling, there's little cherub angels.
Oh, yeah.
You find angels everywhere. In fact, we've counted 89 angels in the church.
Wow.
That's not 89 yet. We're going to see some more. That's not 89 yet. But notice the open arches up in the dome. That's an interesting place too. I've never been, so we're not going up there. But you can. Lots of sisters have been up there.
it looks like it would be some steep stairs to get there.
Well, there are no stairs. I understand you have to more or less climb up
ladder.
the wall.
Oh, climb
And
the
you
wall.
You have to go across the top of the ceiling back here.
Well, I will forgive
and
you
get
for
down
not
there.
taking
I've
us
never
there.
been there. So.
Yeah, that's quite
But there is a
interesting.
walkway all the way around there, and so.
And each of the angels is different, right? In the dome.
And the
these
dome,
pictures-
there are two different kinds.
Two different kinds? Oh,
right,
okay.
Yeah. And we'll see more angels as we walk along.
Fantastic work. And you have a rose window on
Yes,
each.
a
on
beautiful
each end.
rose window up here. That's St. Benedict and two of his monks,
Perfect.
St. Mars and St. Placid. And yes, there you see some more angels. You see those little triangular windows around the center? They're little cherub angels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're hard to see until, you know, because some of them are upside
You
down.
almost need to be up there to look
Yeah,
at.
yeah. But once it's suggested, you usually get the idea. And then on the other side is another beautiful rose window. That's Jesus Christ the King.
Mhm, with the kingly crown and
That's
the
right.
robes
And then the little cherub angels around the area. And then we have a smaller organ up here. We didn't talk about the organ. Up on the balcony, we have a beautiful pipe organ.
Yeah, we can hear that organ, and it was a lucky break for us that.
Yes, we lucked
someone
out
was
on
playing
that,
when
didn't
we
we?
came in here.
It's a pipe organ. I don't know too much about organs, but I do know that this organ up here on the balcony has 1,300 pipes. 1,300 pipes and 35 ranks.
Bet that's fun to play. You'd have to be very accomplished
I'm not a musician
to play
so-
that. Yeah.
So, but this one up here is much smaller. This has only been in a few years. Much smaller
Why
organ.
did you add another organ? What
The
was-
idea was to have a smaller organ up here. The sisters occupy all of these front seats, this semicircle
So when
seating.
you get together just yourselves, then this
We're
is
all
this
up
is
here,
where you
right.
are.
And
Okay.
so the idea was to have a smaller organ up here, and the consoles down here on this level.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Would enhance our prayer, you know, rather than operating off the balcony. But
Right.
you know what? We use that organ up there on the balcony every day too.
Yeah.
We change back and forth,
Yeah.
use
So
different ones at different prayer times.
One or more of the sisters an organist,
Oh yes, we
Yeah.
have a number of great
and they
organists.
alternate playing
That's
for you.
right. That's right. Our greatest organist is Sister Teresita. She's 94 years old. I
Wow.
think. I wish you could hear her play.
I would love to.
That sister that's playing now is one of the younger sisters. She's good too.
She's very good.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm in awe of musicians in general.
Yes.
Anybody who can handle, what'd you say, 1,200 pipes?
1,300
To
pipes.
1,300 pipes,
1,300
that's crazy.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we're closer now to the altar, so we can see some
Right.
of those things better.
You
that,
get a little
that
bit
you
of-
showed us.
Better idea of what it really
The
is.
hand carving.
We can talk a little bit more about it when we get up there. We can go in and experience the inside of the chapel
I
if
would
you'd
like to do that.
Yeah.
I would like to do that. yeah.
Okay, well, let's do that.
All right. Well, here we are, and Sister Christine tells me this is called a Eucharistic Adoration Chapel. I love a circle. I think there's something very sort of calming, for one thing, about the circle, but I'll
Right.
be interested in hearing what the thoughts were, because this was recently built, this
Yes.
part of the church, right?
The chapel part was built in here during the 2005 restoration. It provides a little place for private prayer. You see, we can sit in here, kneel in here, have quiet time. Once in a while, take a little nap back here, even,
No,
you know.
no.
Oh, Jesus doesn't care. He says, come to me whenever you are weary and tired. So, notice the front of the chapel's glass enclosed, but that top's all open. And so you still have a little privacy, but you still see the beauty of the whole church.
And the air moves very nicely in here, too.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Now,
And the cross on the outside of the church.
that's what I was
you
getting
know.
ready to ask about.
Yes.
yeah.
It was made over in Jasper, where you just came from. But notice the crucifix, the bronze crucifix in there, lifts out of there and becomes the processional cross.
It separates from the stained glass.
That's right. And so when it's not being used, then it's displayed in the wooden cross. The tabernacle in here is also new. Notice it is a dome. The tabernacle is where the consecrated hosts from communion hosts are retained to provide for this area, you know, to sit and be that close to the Eucharist, which we believe is a true presence of Jesus and the bread and the wine of consecration. But notice the tabernacle is a dome. It's in the dome of the chapel.
It's a dome within a dome.
And the chapel's in the dome of the church.
Dome.
So it's a dome within a dome within a dome that was carried out. So just a very, very nice place to just sit and be with Jesus.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Who designed this newer part of the church?
Our architect for the restoration of the church was Cox Allen Associates out of Louisville, Kentucky. Worked very well with the sisters over the years and planned it. And they knew what we wanted by the time we got finished.
Yeah, I would agree. They seem to have really felt this church.
The paintings, all the painting was done by the Conrad Schmidt Studios out of New Berlin, Wisconsin.
Yes. These things.
Notice the green on the tops of the columns. And notice the colors we chose were green and mauves.
Well, it's funny, I didn't notice it was green until just now.
Is that right?
It looked more cream from back there, but now from here you see that the tops of the columns are sort of a light green.
Yeah, we wanted something that was calming and peaceful, and so we went with the greens and the mauves.
And the walls, are they a shade of gray-green?
Real pastel green, pale green, right. This is a nice place to get a closer look at the angels up above here too. And the tops of the columns, that green part. Notice the little cherub angels up there.
Yes, I was noticing.
I told you we were going to see some more.
All those little cherub faces looking at us.
Right.
You do feel very looked after and nurtured here.
Very taken care of, yeah.
Well, this is a beautiful, beautiful place. Very special, very spiritual, and I thank you for taking us around.
Well, you're welcome. It's always good to share it. It's very important to the sisters that we share it.
Well, we're glad you feel that way because we feel
do.
that way too, and we really wanted to share it with the people who watch our show.
And it's here because of the generosity of many, many people who shared with us.
That's true.
And now we can share it with. We
thank you so much.
Well over 10,000 tourists a year.
I wonder. Yeah, we've seen a few. It isn't, the great thing, it's not those huge numbers where you're, having to wait in line a long time or anything. But obviously there are people who come and really respond.
We do large groups too. We do a lot of tour buses.
Wow.
A lot of senior citizen groups, church
we were here
groups.
on the right day.
Yes, that's right.
Which is the day before Palm Sunday.
We had a big group scheduled this morning.
Did you?
This afternoon. But we'll do any from one person to, I've done 200 at a time. We have more tour guides.
It's wonderful. And I want to say to everybody out there watching this, if you have not been here, or even if you have, anytime recently, you should come because it's a particularly beautiful spot in a beautiful countryside. We're at the Monastery Immaculate Conception in Ferdinand, which I heard this morning I pronounced Ferdinand, Indiana, which if you're part of our Bedford audience, you're maybe an hour, 10, 15 minutes away.
That's about all.
It's not a long drive, it's a beautiful drive, and it's well worth it. And when you get here, well, you don't have to ask for Sister Christine because I guess you have several people.
We have a number of tour guides, right?
Who will do a tour.
I'm always happy to do it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
I did want to mention, though, the grounds, too. When people come and enjoy our grounds. Beautiful grounds.
The grounds are lovely. We did take a look at the grounds just for a couple of minutes. We didn't want to be late for our tour. And there's a cemetery there, quite beautiful. Contemplative place.
Right.
What else?
We have it's called a grotto walk. It's across from the parking lot, and there is an outdoor way of the cross, so the station circles all the way up a big hill. There's a shrine, a grotto shrine to Our Lady of Lourdes, and there's a rosary steps. It's built like the beads on a rosary. Right. Instead of beads, you got steps, and it leads you all up the hill.
sounds
And
great.
then there's a beautiful shrine to Our Lady of Fatima at the top of the hill. And there's also a shrine to Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's a beautiful walk, paths to walk again.
So lots
and now
more
coming is
to
spring,
see. Yes.
the trees are starting
Yeah.
to bloom, and we have beautiful flower gardens over there in the summer.
Oh,
I would
wonderful.
love that too.
Well, there's lots more to see, and that's great.
That's right. Both in
yeah.
nature and in the monastery.
Because we do want to leave them begging for more, right?
That's
And there
right.
is more. There's lots
There
more.
is.
You haven't seen the half of it.
That's right.
Thank you all. Thank you, Sister
Well,
Christine,
thank you for coming.
for being a guest on Indiana History Project. And that's a wrap, I believe. We'll see you next time.